Hey, Kliq This fans, want to get closer to the show than ever? Join Kliq This TV. Kliq This TV offers early commercial-free access to wrestling's hottest podcast, plus live audience tapings of their show every friggin' week. Head to kliqthistv.com now and get inside the show that's just too sweet.
The following podcast contains mature language and adult discussion.
This angle, Kev, I apologize in advance to anyone watching as opposed to just listening this week to Kliq This, the Kevin Nash podcast. When I'm in my alternate location and I don't do the full set build in the other room, I just go with the B show, let's call it. It starts to feel very like with the two of us doing the face thing. It gets very wrestler podcasty. You know what I mean? The visual. I feel like I'm one of these, the hosts.
I'm not really worried about that. I'm just worried about when is Dean Ambrose going to defend his title?
Do you know how long Jon Moxley has been champion?
I think a year.
It's been a year.
So what would you do?
I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to do. What would have to happen in order to dethrone Moxley, whoever comes after Moxley would have to be champion for I would say a year.
I think 5.
You think 5? Okay, 5 years.
5 years. And I'm thinking
5 years.
Hangman or Darby Allin?
See,
we call Darby Allin Mr. Everest.
Climbed them.
He went to the top of the mountain, saw things clearly, no longer risk taker, complete mat wrestler, much like Bob Backlund. We take it back.
Another reference to back. In the back. You can take it in the back.
Long as it's, I mean, I'll do the 3 to 5.
Just no trafficking. Just prostitution.
Yeah, no racketeering.
Right.
No, just
soliciting prostitution.
I kind of had an idea when, like, his girlfriend, was up there for 10 days, and the last piece of evidence was a letter saying, "I just wanted closure with you. P.S. I'm really going to miss the freak-offs." What? What?
Listen, be honest. We were hearing about horrible things. There was video of the treatment of his girlfriend.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's horrible. What percentage of people following this trial of both sexes were getting off on hearing the details of the freak-offs? Even if it was just from a standpoint. There was a lot of entertainment value for people in that, and it was not justice seekers.
I would hope that there were less people watching that than people that didn't watch the big, beautiful bill get passed, and now that they're going to get well, we're going to start off with a $4 trillion debt over the next 10 years. So we got that going for us, and if Trump doesn't sell $9 trillion worth of bonds in 12 months, we're pretty much fucked. We got that going for us. But I want to say something before I'm called a libtard or any of these other things. I am a fucking white wasp. I'm fucking wealthy.
A little Cherokee in there, though.
Not enough to...
Enough to check the box? Not enough to check the box? All right.
I mean, I could get a check if I wanted it, but And I'm pretty sure fucking if you're Cherokee, you're about as Native American as it goes. Like I don't think they're gonna like send ice into fucking the Hopi Indian fucking reservation anytime soon.
They're busy detaining Julio Chavez Jr. after his fight against Jake Paul.
Well, I mean, Florida, another fucking. I mean, I've already put a bid in for after the Trump administration is gone to buy the Alligator Alcatraz. I'm just going to turn it into a theme park. That's if a fucking 50
It's not going to be
mile an
left.
hour-
There's going to be nothing
Yeah,
left.
if that is if a 50-mile-an-hour wind doesn't hit it. So
Well, I saw what 40 did in a video.
yeah. And everybody knows that watches the news that I'm sure like a 30-foot FEMA trailer is really, I mean, because they do so well in those Kentucky tornadoes and everything else.
Having a grand old time in that walkthrough. Did you see that with DeSantis and Don, Big Don? The Big Don were doing their walkthrough. A lot to laugh about, apparently. Maybe they took that out of context. Maybe there was no laughing. Maybe just one. Somebody farted. There was a little laugh, and then they keep sharing that same.
No, what they were
image.
doing was they just kept handing a note back and forth saying $450 million. Like really? Like a fucking airfield that's been there for 1 billion years. FEMA trailers that they've already paid for and have been sitting in mothballs, and some refuge that looks like a dog center before they euthanize dogs.
Cages.
Yeah, just, I mean.
How long did this take to build? Do you know?
Oh, that when they first made like it first made the news, it was what you see right now.
Yeah, I feel like they broke ground at noon, and then I saw images at 6.
No, but they had the trailers and the runways, of course, and all that shit. They just recently added the pens.
So the structure,
see, people look at things like that and they say, you know, whatever happened to the American empathy, whatever happened to us being the good guys, and I look back at them, I say, it's 2 weeks, in and out. They land the plane right there, throw you in a plane, take you to some country you don't have any right going to either, drop you off. I mean, if I was them, I would get a passport so I could get it stamped, because you know you're going to end up back here. Then you get it stamped again. At least you're going to like start knocking a bucket list off of just Central American fucking countries you wanted to visit.
The expediency of the process is attractive, right? It should not take, however many years and however many arrests, honestly, to have somebody who needs to be deported. The state, I did a paper in college about it in the 90s, and the state back then of how many INS detainment facilities there were wildly disproportionate to what they needed. Even in New York, which was the numbers I was using, it was nowhere near the amount of holding space they need. So an expedient process is attractive about this, but it can't be at the expense of like any kind of due process, like actually making sure the person's not a citizen, which hasn't happened 100% yet.
I'm trying to figure out so the quarterback comes in and he calls a play, and then he looks over the coach calls timeout. And so we kind of, quarterback goes over and he says, dude, what are you doing? I just told you 2 weeks ago that we needed people to pick the strawberries, and we needed people and the housekeeping. We've got to let these, remember that whole thing I said? I was in the Oval Office, and I had that same blue suit that I've had on the whole fucking 6 months. And I said to him, like, some guy that's been doing this for 30 years probably knows who would be a good hire to pick the fruit so it doesn't go bad. But now we're throwing that aside, and we're going to grab the guy from the fucking IHOP who's got 3 Marines as sons.
Dean Ambrose.
Who was the last match he had against?
We talk about
Hangman!
we talk about the majors all the time here. We talk about WWE all the time, and AEW when we have to.
When it's part of a joke.
Well, mostly. We never really focus on the other things going on in wrestling, unless it's something crazy, someone's sick or something like that. But there's a big show coming up for Maple Leaf Wrestling that you and I were actually talking about.
Yes,
so I
PCO.
I did some drilling down to see that he's having his final, not his final, I'm sorry. He's having a big return match against Dan Maff, I believe.
Yeah, and I actually was flipping channels on Sirius, caught Busted Open, and was able to hear the Moff, Tommy Dreamer.
Were they doing some heavy PR for it, like advancing the angle on the show?
I mean, in his defense, he made sure he didn't peel that curtain back too far.
You don't want to expose.
No, you don't want to expose the business in 2025.
I believe also on the card, we will have
Matt. Isn't Cardona on it?
Yes, as well, but also Nick Nemeth. Well, Nick Nemeth, I'm saying it, Dolph Ziggler, or whatever you.
We can say Dolph Ziggler because we don't have to play that bullshit.
Exactly. Billy Gunn, I think, will be a guest ref as well. Maybe for the main event, perhaps. Looking here,
I would think so, because what you want is somebody bigger and more jacked than either guy in the main event.
Kevin, is there any chance you'll be watching this? Can this be watched? Is it live only, or we have an internet pay-per-view? How can we get this?
I think it's going to be live, fed on DiddyFreakoff.com.
Each match they'll be fully greased, I heard.
They're actually going to have cutaways of the guys being greased.
The go behind will be a finish several times. Oh, I feel like I did something here, Kev. I feel like I looked. My camera angle is a wrestling podcast. We've used the name Cardona. We've used the name Dean Ambrose. I feel like
Dean Ambrose. When is that guy gonna defend that AEW championship? If he's not gonna defend it, why have it?
5 years at least. I feel like I did something for the industry today. We could have just stayed on Alligator Alley. We could have talked about all the dissenting votes that were supposed to happen in the House.
I gotta, this is an ever-changing situation on what people are going to actually get with this beautiful tax bill. But I did get one 2 days ago, and I don't know how much it's changed since, but I'm going to read it to you, and this will be the net tax changes for 2026 from 2025. So the first percentage will be those making 0 to 27,000. You're going to save on your taxes $40. Okay.
Listen, that's worth
going
the
4 trillion.
all
4 trillion in debt for that? For the people that
assassinating
really
Medicaid.
for people that really need it, SNAP, no after school food, fuck for $40?
Do it.
I mean, done. I second you. I mean, my vote's in. Then we go to the next one. We go 27,000 to 53.3.
Is that household or individual?
It's income group. So I would imagine that's household.
Okay.
So we just say 54,000. Yeah. You're getting 610 back. $50 a month.
We'll feel that.
I mean, it's crazy. 53 to 92, $14.90 back. 92 to 153, $22.50 back. 153 to 361, $46.90 back. 361 to 916, and I'm thinking, $16,000 back. And 916,000 and above, you're getting $60,000 back. Because if there's anybody that needs $60,000, it's somebody pulling in 7 figures. So they've got this shit, I mean, just ironed the fuck out. And I say this. I know where you're going. I'm going to beat you to it.
Go ahead.
They fucking can put this together as a tax cut, and it is completely fair. But they can't fucking make Moxley fucking defend his title?
It's been a year. They put this bill together in 6 months.
That's unbelievable.
What I was going to say is that's all well and good, and it'll amount to, the estimate is 4.7, right? In total, when we're all said and done with those tax benefits. We still haven't paid for that 4.7 though, right? I mean, we still haven't aggregated enough money to offset that.
Well, no, because they have to sell the $9 trillion in bonds to make up for that 4 and to cover. So if they could get a Fed cut and sell $9 trillion in a year, things would be perfect.
$9 trillion in bonds though, Kevin. You hear what you're saying, right?
Hey, if Ambrose can go a year with the belt, we can sell $9 trillion in bonds. Granted, we're fucking tariffing every person on earth
in a year.
Yeah. So our standards fucking got a little fucking hacked, and we don't fucking we don't look as promising as we used to, as someplace you want to park money. But hey,
listen, bulletin just came in. Moxley last defended his title on May 14th of this year. What? How about before that? Is it a year before that? Here's the data.
Are we getting bad information screamed at us?
April. Is that in a singles match? I'm looking at, those of you listening and not watching, looking at the screen. Steve has up some data, perhaps some cagematch.net or one of those.
I don't see any dates.
Go scroll to the side a little bit there. April
6th. April 6th, he defeated Swerve Strickland. March 19th, he defeated Adam Copeland.
Jesus Christ.
March 9th, he defeated Christian Cage and Adam Copeland. He defends this title. I have a lot of criticism about him being champion, but his frequency of defense is not one of them.
Well, that's not what I heard.
This is outrageous. This is outrageous.
This was not what I was told. But I did hear today that the WWE has dropped the EDGE trademark. So Mr. Copeland might want to grab that and go on AEW as Edge.
I'm sure it's being
throwing
discussed.
it the fuck out there.
I'm sure it's being discussed in his camp.
Because that way there, the fucking Copeland loss against Moxley, when he goes against Edge, completely different matchup.
Right.
See?
Yeah. What's in the name? The
Everything.
whole match.
That's it.
Exactly. And when I say the name Ridge to you, Kev, I know you think of one of the most durable, long-lasting, convenient, simple wallets that you can imagine.
Can I add something?
Anything you want.
Baby oil proof.
You know, I haven't tested. Clearly, you have, but if you keep it in your back pocket, it might be a blockade. If
You
get
try to turn it sideways.
exactly, you're getting tagged from the rear, and somebody's got to have really bad aim to go too far to the right or left. Guys, we're fucking around because we fuck around all day, but I'm not fucking around when I tell you about the Ridge wallet. The amount of colors, combinations, patterns, textures, 50 colors and styles. It's unique, it's slim, but it can hold up to 12 cards plus cash. If you're looking, you could see right there the helpful band on the outside to keep that cash in. Ridge isn't just about wallets. I'm excited about the wallets, but they create premium everyday carry essentials. They have key cases. I have a key holder also with the ring. They're all built with the same sleek, durable design, and that is what makes Ridge so special. They have over 100,000 5-star reviews, Kevin. And the fact that they're so sleek, let's think about this. Can't really trace externally trace where the wallet is. So I think it's a deterrent to pickpockets as well.
Well, not only that, you can't scan through it.
Right. So it's got the RFID blocking technology. Very
my
good
son
point.
had 2 Ridge wallets 4 years ago.
He had that gunmetal one, right?
Yeah.
I wish I got that. I'm going to grab that. I got the orange one, as I've showed you many times.
Yeah.
But for a limited
He got
time,
that one, then he got that there's 2 different ones. There's one that's kind of exposed. Like you can see the cash. There's
yeah, right. That
he,
was in that picture.
he has
right
that in black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For a limited time, our listeners are getting 10% off Ridge by using the code Kliq at checkout. Just head to ridge.com. Use that code Kliq, Kliq, and you're all set. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about it. Please support our show.
That bottom one there, that blue one, he would wear that when he wore his board shorts and went out in the ocean and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Check them out, guys. Go to ridge.com/KLIQ.
Good product. Tristan Nash approved.
Thank you. Thank you, Ridge. Cha-cha-cha. Some feedback from last week, Kev. Would you like to hear?
Before we go any further, I got to get something off my chest. I think that fucking Moxley is asked to fucking defend that belt too many times.
It's overexposure is the problem.
That's the problem.
You have to find new finishes. How many angles? If he's defending it 300 times a year, how many ongoing angles could you have?
At this point, he shouldn't work for 5 years.
That's what they're going to have to do.
Exactly.
5 years of promos.
Or just maybe just some shots of him walking around the building with a hoodie on. It's good shit, man.
Rick,
Tony, go ahead. You're absolutely use it. Use all of it, Mr. Khan.
Mr. Khan, to you and me. Rick was listening last week or watching or both, and he said, I appreciate the show and how hard Kevin and Sean work on it. But respectfully, it seemed off this episode. It's normally a chill show about everything, and wrestling is talked about once in a while. But it seemed Kevin and I had a very good friend in common, too, with Adam Rodriguez, who grew up in Rockland and played baseball at North. Kevin is a genuinely nice guy, and my heart broke for him and his wife when his son, and also Scott passed away. Much respect for both. I noticed a change in Kevin regarding religion and his views on life. I truly appreciate the show and hope that it goes back to them being completely comfortable. Were you uncomfortable last week?
No, but I think he's bipolar by reading that.
Yeah, we were a little all over the place. I thought we were on a track about like how we were off last week, and then we got to Adam Rodriguez.
Then we got to Adam Rodriguez. He played baseball. We went to...
How many movies has Adam Rodriguez been in this year? In a year's time.
He's on the #1 rated streamed television show in the world.
Too much exposure.
I'm just saying.
Jeremiah Schuyler, favorite segment? Believability. Deep dive on false finishes and kick-out psychology. Always enjoy listening to the nuances and fine-tooth thinking you both do so well. But possibly the best part of the segment was when Sean is closing the break for Tushy and Kevin pops in with his European 2 showers per week commentary, finishing fucking beefaroni. I love the deep dive stuff too because, go ahead, you're chomping at the bit.
It's just that we go into the deep dive, but I don't think we go into the costuming enough.
Right, nails.
Now, yeah.
And I don't mean Kevin Wacholtz either.
No, I mean just actually if it's a female, her nails. Like we don't. That's the details that I think people want to talk about.
You would have to go to for that. You would have to go to whoever the woman of wrestling had been for the past 10 years.
20.
20?
Yeah.
Okay.
Since Moolah.
Leilani Kai has my vote, or Judy Martin. Chris Arcter says,
Richter.
Sean, you're thinking Wendy Richter. Wendy Richter.
Actually,
she come to my room.
She
She drink my beer. She smoke my marijuana. She don't do the job for me.
Why she don't do the job?
That's a quote from Kaz.
Unbelievable. That's one of my favorites. I think, what is it, Jabroni? She would not do the job.
Chris Arcter says, Sean, you're thinking of Evan Courageous. Yes, you're 100% right. I told the story about Bill Goldberg with his hands in his sweats, and when he went to shake one of the young wrestlers' hands, the guy went ooh, with the hand, and Bill just kind of picked him up, put him over the rail, and kept walking. It was Evan Courageous. You're absolutely right.
Evan's
Thank
a
you,
good
Chris.
dude. Evan, if you're in the Charlotte area, Evan is a great tax guy. So if you need your taxes done, look up Evan.
Very good. Hey, that'd be a funny deep dive someday. Wrestlers that excelled in other careers. I don't mean acting. I'm not talking about The Rock. I'm like, who's a very successful physical therapist is Crowbar. You know
who else is Alex Shelley?
Okay, there you go.
Alex Shelley's I think Alex Shelley might be a fucking doctor at this point.
Do we have him on the show? We did a special.
He was on
with him, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
God, I forget more. Kevin, I'm 52. You got to talk to me for a minute here. Let's be serious for a minute. We help a lot of people on this show. Maybe we can help them by proxy. I forget so much at 52. Is it just the years? Is it just my file cabinet that we fill a little more each year is overflowing with paper and we can't access anything? Is it too much THC? What's happening? Why can't I fucking remember that I had Alex Shelley on this show?
I think you give too much.
I what?
You care too much about shit.
I don't know.
You don't have enough. Fuck that.
I'll work on it over the next year.
I remember having Alex on.
Yeah, I do too, but it took me like a second. And then I had to ask you for confirmation of that because
we haven't. It was like we've had fucking a billion,
But we had like 5 guests in the lifetime of the show, and I couldn't access that. How are you with names? Like if I ask you an actor, are you able to access the name right away, or do you stand there with this stupefied look on your face like you just went 12 rounds with Tyson?
I say, fuck, I said, I don't know what the fuck. What's he been in? I'll go on IMDb.
Yeah.
I was listening to a show and they had a mixed martial arts guy was on the show. He was
Dan Math?
Huh?
Dan Math?
No, he's a wrestler.
Yeah.
His dad was an indie promoter and a referee. But he said that I don't know who the mixed martial art guy was, but he said, I don't know if it's the blows to the head or liters of booze. He said, but I can't remember anybody's name. He said, so when we go someplace, me and my wife have a deal where if we come up to somebody, I think her name was Tammy. She just says, hi, I'm Tammy. What's your name? Like she
intercedes and gets
so he doesn't
the
have
name.
to.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm doing that. I have to work on that.
Like in my life, it would be if I was the president of the United States, everybody would have to wear one of those "Hello, my name is" fucking stickers. My son used to
do the first day of kindergarten.
My son used to do an impression of me going someplace. He would say it to one of his friends. He goes, "Here's my dad going someplace where he knows 90% of the people facially. Hey, what's up, champ? How's it going, chief? What's up,
champ, chief, sports, bud."
Like Harvey Keitel in Taxi trying to get De Niro to fuck off. That's enough, chief. All right, sport. Good fucking hike.
You could do some really terrible ones and go out on a limb and be like, Jesus, did you lose weight? You look good. And it's like, no, put on about 10, actually, but thank you.
Are you still alive?
Yeah. Brian Ingram. Best way for booking Rhea Ripley is bring in Tessa Blanchard. I do best of 3 series with the final match, obviously being a tiebreaker, and it would be a 60-minute Iron Woman match. That's money booking right there.
If Tessa Blanchard was somebody that should be in a Iron Man or Iron Woman match against Rhea Ripley, don't you think she'd at least be on the NXT roster?
Well, I don't know. Can she not?
Well, she's not.
Right.
She's not. She's not playing Major League Baseball, so I doubt somebody from the AA squad is the person you want to go best of 3 with a 60 through.
She's doing taxes. She's a great tax preparer. You didn't know that?
I heard she was fucking Dean Ambrose's valet.
Just for the past year.
Just for his last 13 title defenses in the last month.
MGKMG. Lost the twins. Boy, never felt this feeling of indescribable loss, not dealing with it the best way.
Really? You get, of all the things
to pick, I have to say, Kevin, this is what makes the show special. Because we can do both.
Because I just don't need to get kicked in the balls every fucking week.
It was next on the list and I read it. Listen, MGTKMG, I think I'll speak for Kevin and say there is nothing. There is nothing, but going forward.
And he got to fucking he's double.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
we're with you. Glad you're with us, and glad we do add that little bit of whatever when we do that. We're not your average wrestling podcast. Blake's Sanctum.
You reading these in order or what?
Well, just kind of how they were pasted in as I juggle commercials and comments in the thing. But listen, I didn't know where we'd be. But it is what makes the show special. That you give a dose of that.
T's birthday. I mean, it's just like.
It was just one question. We're not on it the whole time.
Oh, that's it? Okay. Because that's great because now my mind's not going to be there the rest of the fucking show. I'm only sitting looking in a chair that he used to be in. I mean,
This was the Casey Kasem moment. Do you remember that? Did we play that on this?
No,
When
I
he
don't,
had
I
to
don't want to
read
go any deeper in the fucking...
the-
My...
I was reading the next question. I can go to the next
My
question. I don't want you to go any deeper. We answered it, and we'll go to the next one.
But
I'll talk about it. If you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it.
no, fucking just do whatever the fuck you want. Your show.
Yeah, right. It's my show. That's how I
Obviously.
serve this up. Blake Sanctum. Seems unlikely there'll be a title change with Goldberg since it's his last match. But if there is, you could bet Seth and his squad will be coming out to take it 5 minutes later, like what happened with Drew. Relevant because we did talk a lot of Goldberg in the last few weeks. And we're coming up to the Saturday night show, which is the 12th, I believe. It'll be this coming Saturday when this airs. Let me confirm that. Right? Yeah. So what about that? Because I did ask you about how they would handle the title situation. And I think you agreed that it's unlikely that there would be any kind of title change.
It's not going to be a title change.
Kevin, I feel bad that I read that question. I have to. We're about
You
honest.
should.
We're about honesty here. We're about honesty here.
You should.
So I feel bad that I read that question.
Now I'm going to have to fucking every show go over the questions with you before.
But I didn't not want to read the question in the show. I put it in there because I thought that that's kind of what makes the show special for people. For people out there.
My fucking heartache is what makes the show special.
No, your insight and you're sharing with people, and it makes people comfortable enough to talk about that.
If you,
I'm not telling you I feel bad, Kevin. I honestly am.
it's fine. Let's just go on.
I'm trying, but the Bill Goldberg also wasn't the place to go after that.
I said he's not going to fucking win. Let's go to the next fucking whatever we got.
Well, I did want to ask you some stuff about Raw. Kevin, I watched Raw. Did you watch Raw?
I watched Raw.
So, some stuff to unpack here. Now, Raw came on the heels of Night of Champions,
Right.
of course, which you watched as well, right?
Some of it.
Okay. So,
I definitely watched the main event of Night of Champions.
Right. What was absent for me was any thoroughfare from Night of Champions into what I would have expected to see on the Raw a couple of nights later. Did you feel similarly? Or did you feel that it...
How can you say that when Rollins and his crew and Paul Heyman are on the show 16 times, both?
Yeah, they are both on the show 16
I
times.
mean, I couldn't see any correlation or any fucking lines that went through both shows. I think I'd lost count of how many times young Steiner fucking took a bump for somebody fucking half his size.
What about LA Knight with
If you're going to sneak, first off, if you're going to sneak into the building, can you please not wear that fucking color brown vest?
You weren't wearing that today when you went to the gym?
Jesus Christ, like, what is that, Cordova? It's not even brown. It's like Corinthian leather.
A burnt umber, perhaps? Yeah.
I don't know what it is. He just, with those welding glasses, and he goes with the brown, he just, I guess he figures, well, everybody goes black, so I'll go brown. I don't know.
Did you think, though, in that segment that for the brawl up in the concourse area, I felt that
he's snug.
I felt they were fighting. Is exactly what I was going to
I-
say to you.
No, he's snug.
There was no leading and no.
And
And
I
I
also-
heard the pops.
I also, if he doesn't get if he doesn't get a shot pretty soon at being in the, he's got to attach himself to Rollins, because they're definitely going with Rollins, and once it gets on Rollins, it ain't going nowhere. Watch how much better his bodyguards get once he gets the belt. They'll both turn into little John Wicks.
Right. Because you have a little bit of a franchise there, right? Like
Well, you've got to protect. Now the Heat is protecting the belt,
Right.
And those guys will get heat by proxy of making sure he continually gets his ass beat, but climbs out with the belt.
Right.
And
You
then
know, you
goes, then comes out and says that he's the best, and he proved it again last week.
Right. You mentioned heat, Kevin, and down here although I'm saying down here in the heat in Florida, but it was hotter in Jersey. I think it was like 81 when I got up here today.
Yeah, no, it's not that hot.
But it doesn't mean that I am not going to be prepared when I travel. So I ensured that I would have MANDO down here when I got here to protect me for who knows, I could have been walking into 95-degree days and still may.
Well, the humidity is still fucking brutal.
I stepped outside of Target yesterday, Kevin. I thought like a blanket was thrown out of me. A blanket that had been in an oven.
A blanket of piss.
A saturated piss blanket was thrown over my face when I stepped out. What's in my kit, Kevin? Probably what's in your kit, too. The solid stick, the spray, the entire body spray. I have the wipes. There's the soap bar. There's the cream. It's all here because I make sure that wherever I go, I have my MANDO. And this is not just some kind of perfumey cover-up that you might have experienced with some of your products in the past. It blocks odor all day. It controls sweat, too. And that stick that, Kev, you and I have talked about, I think we both have the bourbon leather, right? The 72-hour stick. Yeah. It's powerful on pits, but gentle on skin. That's important for me. I have sensitive skin.
I have a guy, a buddy of mine, he tells me that he got the product after we put it over. And he says, yeah, but I wear black T-shirts all the time, and I keep, when I go to put my T-shirt on, I'm getting the deodorant on my T-shirt. And I said, so you fucking are wearing a T-shirt, and you put your deodorant on, then you put your shirt on? I said, it's really hard for the deodorant to get on the outside of your shirt if you reach underneath your shirt, and not here where you stretch it, underneath the shirt, and take it and do your pit. And I mean, I know we don't have Manscaped anymore, and keep your pits trimmed.
Trim them down. That's part of it, right?
You gotta have no. It's like, I just looked at him. I said, "What are you, 6? Do you fucking eat with a spoon? Like, what the fuck?"
MANDO was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed, mistreated. This is clinically proven to block odor all day and for up to 72 hours. Okay, there's the stick, spray deodorant. I showed you all I have. You should have it too. Get ready for our special deal for you. The starter pack, perfect for new customers. Comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice. And free shipping. As a special offer to listeners, new customers are going to get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Use Kliq, K-L-I-Q, at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide, plus free shipping, shopmando.com. Please support the show. Tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered. Protect your pits and smell great doing it.
You know what we need to do?
What's that?
We need to get Ambrose's address, send him to MANDO. With that bullseye he's got on his back, fighting every 12 hours for that
Right.
strap, he needs MANDO.
They could
He needs
draw
a MANDO.
sweat worrying about
I
that.
put the 72-hour on because I there's a chance you could have 3 straight nights where you have matches.
Or 3 shots in one day, like
One
maybe
day.
if you were taping a Raw or a Superstars
or
something like
Superstars
that.
or Wrestling Challenge back in the day when you know. Well, I mean,
It's not like the Iron Man schedules today with the
No, it's nothing like that. It's not like the travel schedule they got now. And God forbid, like when you go to Saudi Arabia, you got to get on a fucking charter plane. Jeez. Try flying fucking to India between Yoko and Undertaker in coach.
Did they really put Yoko in coach?
And then fucking from there to Tel Aviv in coach.
Wow. Yeah, that's something.
But at least we did get a meal on that, and it wasn't a ham sandwich. So
You did better than catering when you fucking got to the town.
yeah, once we got to New Delhi, and then New Delhi is like Bourbon Street without the MANDO. I mean, there's a funk in Delhi that's.
Oh yeah, I've heard.
I mean, I immediately went to my hotel room, brushed my teeth, gargled Listerine, and I still couldn't, like, I put Vicks, I did the fucking CSI with the Vicks in my nose. I mean, just the funk.
Well, they shit in the rivers in some parts of the country.
They stop and pick up their dresses and have diarrhea right in the street in front of you.
Right.
You got billions of people that wake up every morning with their sole objective in life is not to fucking starve to death.
Yeah.
But we do have people getting $40 back off on that 27,000 that they're making. Home of the free.
Kev, in regards to Raw, so you got Reed and Braun double teaming Penta. They get him and they lay him out. Now Reed's going to the top rope for a splash or something, right? And Jay's music hits. Now, if you're on the offensive, if you and your buddy are double teaming somebody from the rear or the front or however, and you got them laid out, and you hear someone
Jay's
come out of the
music?
bar 2 blocks away, or Jay's music,
I see.
could you just launch yourself, or do you stop?
I haven't been like in the rings since, I don't know, 2015 was maybe the last time I worked at a WWE ring. I think that the ring music, with the effect that it has on the talent, is much like that situation with the embassies down in Cuba, where they were getting sick with the headaches and all these. I think they're using some kind of a sound wave warfare. And Jay, because he's over, his is much stronger. So why would you splash somebody when you could, run?
Right. So that when the music hits, there's like a paralysis.
Yeah.
You stop climbing the rope.
Or maybe you just, your thought pattern just gets scrambled. It's like a mini stroke. It's like Biden during that entire debate before we had gone on George Clooney to do a post-op in the
That
post.
should have been what they hit instead of the music, maybe.
Yeah.
Some debate footage, and it would have seeped into Bronson Reed. I just never got that. Like, why are you, Kevin? You have thoughts on this? You've been in the ring
I hate it.
5,000 times in
hate it.
WCW when they would hit the music.
I would just continue to talk over the music.
Yeah.
I mean, why do you go? Why does it become? It immediately becomes like the Wimbledon. You say something, I say something. You say something. Nobody just gets like cuts a promo like you would in real life, and then just starts swinging.
Right.
As they come in, like, what the fuck are you down here for? Bam.
Yeah, so you talk over the music, like you said, right? NWO days I'm talking about,
And
right?
smack somebody.
Yeah.
And smack whoever the fuck comes in the ring.
Right.
I like it. It's they come down and they smack. If they're a babyface, they they do their whole entrance and have the sing along. We have the Rocky Horror Picture Show moment, and touch my fist on the steps and do this and do that and all this shit that they do. Then get in and try to fucking tell me that this shit is actually heated.
The other thing but when they slide in the ring, like if they hit the music, they're running to you. You're in the ring already. You're up.
You wouldn't field goal kick them right in the fucking face, would you?
They're exposed for like 3 seconds.
I'm not even talking sides like soccer style. I'm talking Jim Bakken from the fucking Cardinals. Just that Jan Stenerud. He was the first side guy.
Yeah, was a soccer kick.
Give him that Tom Dempsey 63-yarder with the club foot for the Saints against the Lions.
Half a foot. That's right.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That was like fucking epic. Nowadays, like kids in high school are hitting 73-yard field goals.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck, man?
It's the supplements.
It's Ambrose.
So yeah, I mean, I think how that's handled is still a little awkward. People clearly don't care. It gets the pop. Everyone's fine with it. Being hard on about it.
I have to. I'll forget if I don't say this.
Anything
I follow most of the top guys in the WWE. Definitely follow WWE. And so I saw a clip on my Instagram, and it was Cody getting out of a bus. So I'm like, oh, like, okay, what's Cody doing? Because I like Cody. I mean, I thought him and Jay had a great match at Night of Champions. I thought it was fun. I mean, it was.
I do too. Yeah,
it was like an old school. I thought that was a great match. I didn't think it hurt Jay at all. I think it elevated Cody. You're king of the ring for a year. It's like one of those things where like he can always throw I'm the king. I mean, it just gives him different shit to use until he gets the strap. But so I'm watching this thing, and they pan, and there is a line that looks like. And I almost said fucking like Gaza, which would have been just fucking absolutely horrible to say. But I mean, it just looks like one of those food lines or something. It's just this never-ending line. And it's 70% fucking kids and families, and they go inside, and Cody is signing in front of whatever that brand vodka.
Wheatley American.
Yeah, Wheatley American vodka, and it's like a 9-year-old kid, like buddying up with Cody, and they got a vodka sign behind him. This ain't your dad's WWE.
So who in the marketing department dropped this ball?
I just want to know how the fuck that got by. Because this is your guy that's dressed in the American flag when it comes to the ring, and he's pushing vodka to adolescents.
Some guys, characters, whatever you want to call them, you could do that, right? You could have the vodka for certain. You got to look at the talent, right? You got to look at the talent.
But you can't even. I don't think you can go into I don't think you can go in our liquor store if you're not 18.
No, I'm talking about the talent. You could allow an endorsement for certain people on the roster,
Yeah.
but somebody that has such a heavy
And Cody
kid-
is the vodka guy.
right. I know.
He's the vodka brand guy.
That's what I'm saying. There's a disconnect between the character they're trying to project with him.
I've
and
never hung
that
out with
endorsement.
Cody, like, when I drank or when I haven't. I don't ever remember him being like a drinker. Like when Scott and I would go back, and I remember he fought the Green Arrow at that one pay-per-view, or what, I think they fought. Yeah, they either fought or were tag partners. But I remember seeing Cody in the bar that night, and I mean, he wasn't a drinker.
Right. In that Night of Champions, Kev, you brought up a good point. So with the King of the Ring now, it's almost like a belt without a belt, right? Like
Right.
there's something while the belts are tied up with other people, he's now got that King of the Ring to kind of be a part of the storyline, a part of.
And the thing is
storylines.
like it doesn't look like Jerry the King Lawler's crown anymore. It looked like a diamond encrusted.
Yeah, did you see that?
Yes,
That was
yes.
pretty hot.
And
yeah.
the fact that you're getting it in Saudi Arabia makes probably a 9-year-old kid go, I bet you those are real diamonds. Unless you pulled back the curtain
too much.
too much.
Too much.
I think that every kid in the earth goes, that's fucking bogus shit.
Probably now. You're smart when you're 8 now, right? I mean, it's.
Wow.
Were you surprised when? I mean, it made total sense to me once I saw it. But were you surprised that the women had to be
No.
fully outfitted? I
They
didn't
were-
go
they-
there until
they
I saw it.
They came down. They were the first. I think Natty was one of the first ones I remember. I think she was one of the first women. I forget who she worked with, but I remember that it was very, very generic, almost like fucking potato sack type thing that they had to wear.
Oh,
Like Rhea Ripley in a Spider-Man costume.
yeah.
I mean, it was like, okay, yeah, that works.
Yeah,
You
they're
know?
making it work now.
Like
but,
Jade, it wasn't like
Jade,
Jade's glutes didn't look,
just
like
as
she-
good.
yeah, like she's. I don't know how hard she trains, like, because she never puts any training, but to keep that much muscle, and she's like 5'10", to keep that much muscle on that frame, to have that deep abdominals, she's definitely in a squat rack.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, I didn't have a problem with those two's outfits.
Right. I was just it took me a second, and I guess Rhea was the first one I saw. The Rhea's match, right, was first. So I was like, oh, this is an interesting.
Did you
direction.
see
Then
that?
I was like,
Did you
yeah.
notice that they showed her earlier? Like, and she wasn't showing her like her arms. I think she had but it was eating a banana at the
Oh, I
beginning.
didn't.
At the beginning of fucking, she was eating a banana, and I thought, wow, man, like, is she fucking like, is she one of us? Is she like, oh, so you're gonna make me cover up? Well, I'll eat a fucking banana.
Yeah, I'm
in
covered.
in the
Oh, I'm
pre-tape.
covered.
I saw that and popped.
The booking on the Money in the Bank cash-in, were you good with it? In Cena and Punk's match, which I also thought was a pretty good match.
I think what happens is if you don't occasionally like show the grenade, you forget that the grenade's in play.
Mm.
So I think that was the thing. Like, because I think until you see how sometimes you forget, you think it's got to be the guy's pinned, like you forget that it's like, no, fuck it, we're going to do this like right now. And I think that's because I had become complacent to the fact that because number one, Paul carries it, and then when Bronson and one's Bronson, but the other his name is Bronson. So
Right. There's a lot of Brons and Bronsons. Yeah.
Braun and Bronson, when they went down for the tag match, Paul came down to the ring and he was carrying the Money in the Bank
Yes.
briefcase, but Rollins wasn't there. So it becomes, this, green thing that just kind of,
It's just there.
yeah,
Like the Adrian Adonis briefcase.
Yeah,
With Trudy.
unless you put it in play, and they put it in play, and so.
Kev, something that's consistently in play for you is the car search. I know Tamara was looking to upgrade, and I'm going to ask you how that's going because CarGurus should be still part of the strategy for you as you and your wife shop for the new vehicle. I hope it is. Is it? You still on CarGurus having a little fun with the app?
I've probably, I'd say twice a week. I get on and I go. Usually, I'll start at 100 miles for the
radius
search.
around you. Okay.
Yeah, because then I can, I can detail my car up, and I can do it and be home. If it's 250-ish, which I'm not finding anything. I'm probably going to have to go 250, 300, because I'm probably going to have to get in that Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm. I might have to get down there to find the S-Class I want.
Right. Well, it should be fun. It should be exciting. It should be it shouldn't be, misleading or hidden fees. Just a lot of the pitfalls that sometimes can happen when you're shopping for a car. It can be like a maze with
it's so
danger
huge.
everywhere.
It's huge when you go, when you look at a car and it says it's got 11,977 miles. And you go through the photos, it says 62 photos, and photo 55 is the odometer with the car turned on at 11,000 plus.
Right.
So just okay, fuck, this thing has 11,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
And then it's got the, what's the other one? It's Carfax that tells you whether or not
the statistics of the history of a car.
Yeah,
right.
If it hasn't been hit, so that's on there.
Yeah.
But it always has, like every once in a while, I'll be looking at a car and the picture won't be of the car. And with CarGurus, if it says white car with gray interior, you look at the car, you're like, okay. So, it's...
Yeah. And then, the real price analysis, the vehicle history, like you said, you could also set for price drop alerts. If the price of a certain vehicle you're interested in changes, they'll send you the alert. You can rank by best deals. Guys, CarGurus it's fun to do, and it's extremely informative. It makes you a wiser shopper, less margin for error when you have the CarGurus team on your side. So you're going to buy or sell your next car next with CarGurus. I said next twice. Happens sometimes. CarGurus.com is what we're talking about. CarGurus.com. Make sure your big deal is the best deal. It also happens to be the #1 most visited car shopping site. All right. And it's not that for no reason. Kevin uses it. That should be good enough for you. CarGurus.com. Thank you, CarGurus, for your product as well as your support.
Like I said, I bought my last two S-Classes from CarGurus.
Great. Successful both times, right?
Yeah, that's when I remember when you said we got a new ad. I was just a new advertiser. I was like, fuck yeah. It's so easy to sell something that you're a fan of. Like I'll see on Instagram, and there's a guy up in like Jersey or something, and he's dealing like, like some guy will be, I got a Hellcat, I got this, I got that, and I said I'll give you $850 for all three, and I'd be like, fuck, how much is that deal? It'll be some car I won't know, so I'll have to CarGurus it to see,
to verify.
Yeah, because it'll tell me what year it is. Like they always say, it's a 23, and I
So you use it like a reference book too, not just
because
in the
to me because it'll tell you fair deal, great deal, and so I have to say this because I saw it the other day. The number one the number one SUV in depreciation. What do you think it is? It's in 5 years it loses $64,000 worth of its value.
God, I mean, I would have to know why that even happens. Is it a luxury vehicle?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, think about it. In 5 years, it's losing 64,000. So you're paying some coin to get it.
Oh, 64,000. I think it meant 64%. I thought you said, okay,
no, 64,000.
Jesus Christ. What is it?
Escalade. Cadillac Escalade loses $64,000 in 5 years. So you can go on CarGurus and pick one up with 28,000 miles for probably 90 grand instead of the 143 sticker, and now you drive the car for 5 years with no depreciation. Just trying to teach people how to live life a little bit more frugal.
The Cadillac that's a GMC build?
No, it's a Cadillac. I mean, it's Chevrolet built.
Oh, Chevrolet.
It's on the GMC Denali is on that.
Right. Okay.
And the Suburban is on that. The long Suburban.
And percentage-wise now, they don't depreciate as quickly as the Escalade. Like
only because they're nowhere near the price. Like a Suburban's probably 120. I think an Escalade's like $1.50 now.
Overpriced then, you'd have to say, right? Just based on that depreciation statistic, that's unbelievable.
And the thing is, though, on top of that, like they will do like 80 months loans and shit, like it's 7 fucking years.
Like a college loan.
Like you're paying a fucking house off.
Kev, how about a little Florida Man jersey guy? There was some last week we did the AskNash, and we had some people say, "Hey, where was Florida Man jersey?" We do one or the other every week.
Let's just not forget we got to talk a little bit about the Liver King before the night's over. So we'll do this first.
Okay, yeah. So all right, we'll plug in here. 2 headlines, both actual headlines. One, a Jersey guy being described. The other one, the exploits of a Florida man. The first one, drunk man arrested for chasing, ramming into, and shooting garbage truck following an argument with the driver in the parking lot. Okay. Chased, rammed, and shot at a garbage truck. And second headline,
the shooting is gonna. It'll be hard for me not to say that's a Florida man because it's much harder to get a handgun in New Jersey, and they send them in the mail here with your fucking.
Well, but they exist. Well, let me read you the second headline.
Okay.
Maybe that'll change your opinion. I don't know. Probably not, but man arrested accused of beating 71-year-old mother with her own cane.
That's some Soprano shit. That's Jersey.
Yeah, he got it this week again. Our Florida friend, Quinson Crossan, was his name. This is, I guess they describe it as a road rage incident from a Wawa parking lot. This, let me see what it says. Oh, Wawa is not a typo. Okay, so this is here. I guess
Wawa is that's a
it says Florida's chock full of
we have
Wawas.
Wawas.
And it's funny they mention
You,
here.
if you can't get a Buc-ee's, you get a Wawa.
It says here we can't have New Jersey snowbirds going too long without their beloved soft pretzels. So I guess Wawa's in both places. So around 5 a.m., they knew each other prior to the shooting spree. I'm trying to find a city here. See if it's a very, I don't know, fucking, can't spend all day on this. I don't have the city, but anyway, that was the Florida story. And then up in Jersey, Happy Mother's Day, Joseph Cavarello, has been charged with the attempted murder, aggravated assault, and other related charges in connection with the incident in Manchester Township.
Get the fuck out of here.
Joseph Cavarello, 44. The police responded around 12:15 p.m. And the Pine Acres Manor mobile home community for a woman in distress. Officers got to the scene. They found a 71-year-old woman with injuries to her face and body. She was taken to the hospital. Apparently, the woman had been assaulted and beaten with her own cane by her son. I'm looking to see if he had a good reason here. Apparently not.
I got to give his Father of the Year for teaching him not to hit a woman, let alone his own mother. Fuck. What a piece of shit.
Unbelievable.
So do you know who the Liver King is?
There's a documentary on, I guess it's Netflix. Okay.
Yeah.
And it is about a health guru. Is this the one?
Well, sociopath, whatever.
Who was advertising a cleansing to have reversed some damage to himself. Yeah. You'll give us the actual. I'm just going by the trailer
I'll
that
just
I watched
say,
a few times.
people that know who the Liver King is, yeah, he basically got on social media. All this is covered in the Netflix thing, but I mean, I've been following him for way before this incident, and he's jacked. I mean, he's absolutely jacked. So somehow somebody finds a receipt for a month's worth of growth hormone for $10,000. So this guy's taking like 10 IUs a day of growth, which is significant.
Is it dangerous? Is it?
No, but there's no way he's not taking anabolics with it.
Okay.
And so he lies, continually lies, and finally he breaks down and tries to do I was picked on in gym class and I wanted, that was his, it was kind of not exactly accepted as but Rogan has been calling him out from day one. Rogan's like, there's no fucking way. Like, he'll say the same thing about The Rock. Like, there's no way a guy fucking 53 years old who's fucking got 20 pounds more muscle on him than he did in his prime. It's not possible. And so, because everybody was piling on, and finally when this broke, the guy had gotten it to where he had a supplement line and had sold this, and he was so bad with social media, he was taking 100 takes to do a 30-second TikTok. I mean, but he had this company, and all these people were pushing this lie, but according to them on the thing, they didn't know. Yeah, right. Guy's 4% body fat year round. So he just decides, because his world's completely crumbled, that he's going to fight Joe Rogan. So he starts on social media. He says, I'm going to fight you, Joe Rogan. And he's does some very bizarre videos where he's like spider crawling on the driveway and with the camera down low and just basically just fucking psychotic meltdown shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he decides he's going to document on social media his travel to Austin to fight Joe Rogan. You know, and everybody knows that Joe Rogan lives in a trailer with no security guards. They basically arrest this guy the minute he lands in Austin. They arrest him. And they go on and on and on and on. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching this story and I'm thinking, like, I don't care, like, how strong you are and how tough you are and if you can eat testicles and, like, when you hit that fucking punching ball, you fucking can make it go all the way around. They're, like, when you get in a fight and you're not a fighter and you go against somebody like Joe Rogan, who's like a fifth degree in Taekwondo and a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and if you've ever watched Joe Rogan's sidekick a fucking heavy bag, it sounds like a shotgun going off. So even if you get through all of that, you gotta fucking fight Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like it. So his end game is, and then when I get there, this motherfucker is going to destroy me. But of course, like Rogan's not gonna. I mean, Rogan's worth fucking, I don't know, $400, $500 million. But I just thought it was one of those things like, boy, that was thought out, kind of like that Paul carrying the money in the bank fucking briefcase.
So wait, I have a question. Rogan's been saying, like, kind of exposing the guy as there's no
He
way.
keeps saying,
But
keeps
why
saying,
is he mad at Joe? Joe was right.
Of course.
And he's exposed, and after he's exposed, he wants to fight Rogan?
Well, because Rogan was
getting it right?
Rogan was one of the first guys to light the fuse.
So he blames him for bringing him down.
Well, I think that he takes Rogan. Well, Rogan's the biggest prize. Everybody else is talking shit about the Liver King. Ain't got no coin, ain't got no name.
But that's true.
Rogan's fucking, I mean, there's very few. If I said King or Liver by themselves, you wouldn't know who I was talking about.
No, barely knew anyway.
If you say Rogan, there's nobody that doesn't know. Like, Rogan is just Rogan. He's got to that point in his life.
Yeah.
He's got that Elvis fucking.
Right.
It's not Rogan Presley.
The good thing his name wasn't Smith, because that would be rough. Rogan is one Rogan, right? Can you think of another Rogan? I can't.
I can't. Well, not. I'm sure there is.
Sure there is. I can't think about. Yeah, I can't remember anything. I'm 52. Maybe too much. Maybe too much relaxation. Maybe I need to get more. I need to get my mind more active. The high spot of the show is upon us, Kevin, and I want to talk about something to help with relaxation, which is where I go when I need to, and that's the Get Blitzed Lit Aid and Get Blitzed Lit Aid mixers with our very images and the Kliq This show powering those drinks. Two tremendous flavors: Kev's Key Lime, Sean's Blue Raz. A very mild, mellow 5 milligrams to get you in chill mode. Or perhaps you want to do your own mixer. That's where the Delta 9 Sippin' Syrup comes in. You mix it in any beverage you want, a soda, a tea, an iced tea, and fast onset 5 to 15 minutes because it's nano-infused, which means it bypasses the breakdown in the liver, goes right into the bloodstream, and gets you feeling as you should. If you're in Maryland, you can visit a Stay Lit smoke shop. For the rest of us, it's legal to ship From the Get Blitzed website to almost all 50 states without a med card as long as you're over 21. And now you can save 15% by entering the code KLIQ, K-L-I-Q, at checkout. Go to get-blitzed.com. That's get-blitzed.com to try either the Delta 9 THC Sip and Syrup or the Get Blitzed Kliq This Lit Aid Mixers with Kev's Key Lime and Sean's Blue Raz. Head over to get-blitzed.com. Use that promo code KLIQ, K-L-I-Q. Save 15%. Thank you, Mickey Ray. Getting married soon.
We should send Ambrose some of that and just say, way to be a fighting champion.
He could be the lit king.
I still like the fucking Mr. Everest, though.
Darby.
With the red, white, and blue. Kind of almost a Gable Cody ripoff.
Gable. Americano looked a little bigger this week. You saw
Americano,
that.
Yeah. He looked a lot. If I didn't know better, I'd be like, that's that Ludwig guy I haven't seen in a while. But then I'm like, they wouldn't do that because by doing that, they'd be pulling back that curtain a little bit too far.
Too much.
Yeah, watch out. Keep these Mizarks unsmizzard, brother.
Hey guys, back with Kliq This, the Kevin Nash podcast. Guys, you realize that you enter the room dick first, right? So if you want to be announced as you come in, BLUECHEW is not only a tablet, it's a cheat code for the crotch. Okay, stronger, harder, longer lasting. Like someone gave you downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. All right. What is BLUECHEW? It's the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. Simple. Okay. Just if you want to be ready, like Kev said before he hit the gym today, he pounded about 4 of them. He just wanted to be boned all day long. That could be you. And you only need to think one. Sometimes I take it just if I'm standing in line, I need something to prop something up. If I have a lot of packages, if I'm carrying stuff, just lay it right on there. Try BLUECHEW. Your hog gets its own zip code and its own voting rights. Okay. It's not just about performance. It's about legacy or third legacy. Give her group chat something to talk about. You know, when you lay it down, they're going to be talking about how it gets up. All right. People talk, people chatter. You do not want a bad rep in this department. Discover your options at BLUECHEW.com. We have a deal to get you started. We want you to take advantage of this. Go to BLUECHEW.com and try your first month free. You just got to use the promo code NASH at checkout. Pay $5 so they can ship it to you, and that's it. Join BLUECHEW's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. This is all done online, guys. Head to BLUECHEW.com. Check the details, safety information, and big thanks to BLUECHEW, as always, for sponsoring Kliq This, the Kevin Nash podcast.
You know, it's so effective that your girl will put you over to her friends.
Yeah, right. That's kind of what it's about. You want to walk into the room and have them go, "Oh, is this who you're talking about?"
This the guy?
Right.
7 hours.
Yeah, something like that. Guy was telling us his girl rocked a 3-minute orgasm, right? And we read that on the air in one of the testimonials from our listeners.
Trying to get the girl's name.
Hashtag AskNash is how you can talk to Kev, or you could go to kliqthistv.com and join the 11 Soft Club and be here for the tapings like our friends who.
Or if you really want to talk to me in person, I'll be sitting ringside at the Ambrose Championship matches.
Right, coming soon.
So
or maybe Montreal. Maybe they can grab
venue.
you for the big Carlo-Lay.
I think CPO is going to crush him.
Yeah.
CPO is impossible to beat.
PCO.
I'm sorry.
Listen, you almost went to the Star Trek C-3PO on that gimmick.
PCO is impossible to beat in Montreal. And so is CPO. I mean, That son of a bitch has got that green case, and he'll use it.
But he hasn't defended in a year, so I don't
That's
think
true.
that's going to happen. Kev, you could also this week go to KliqThisShop.com. Steve, bring up an image, scroll down the page. Now you can go and get some of the merch. We've been talking about this. Dom and the crew have been hard at work putting it all together. And we'll be adding new stuff all the time. The mind of Kevin Nash is always working, and he's always coming up with new concepts. Can head over there, grab some wares. Kev, anything you'd like sent to you?
The
Sure.
beanie is actually endorsed by Gucci. It's not Gucci, but it is actually endorsed.
And for $26.99, it's a steal, really, when you get that when you get the Gucci endorsement.
I'll have to look at. Dom says could you get like I can get on anything.
We'll send you the link, or you just tell Dom. There you go.
Yeah, I can't get on shit.
Great quality shirts, by the way. Now, double-sided printing on some of the shirts, some sleeve printing I saw. Great stuff. Go to KliqThisShop.com.
I like the basketball.
I love that.
The
I'm
picture
grabbing
of
that.
me when I was a kid.
Oh, I thought you meant the jersey
No.
cut. I'm going to grab one
pull
of those.
Pull up the. There we go.
Yeah, get
The college hoop postcard.
It's like a trading card from back in the day. All right, so hashtag AskNash. Don Mega wrote in, said, in the 80s in Louisville, I remember more tag team wrestling. Other than those you've been in the ring with, who's your favorite tag? At 10, I marked out to the fabulous ones. I like the baby faces. And moving to Pennsylvania and getting cable is where I'm at.
So I'm going to go old school when I was a kid, and they were the only guys that did it. The Kangaroos would do the double drop kicks. I'm going to go Kangaroos.
Yeah, Al Costello and who was a Detroit guy? Am I wrong about that?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to say he was a Detroit guy. In Unaccepted, the Insane Clown Posse book about wrestling, soon to be available, when they were kids, Joe and one of his friends, there was an old warehouse building, it might have even been abandoned, where a security guard would have to sit by the door to keep people out of it. It was Costello. And as like a 70-year-old guy at the time, and they would just go there after school and sit and hear stories from Al Costello. Ryan White, me and the wife will be headed to Detroit the week after the 4th for a con. What pasta place and pizza place do you recommend? I've never been to Detroit before, so I'm looking forward to it.
You're asking the wrong cat. I'm not a pizza pasta guy.
Well, but we talked about the one within the metal tray.
But I've never been there.
Oh, you've never had the pizza from what was the name of the place?
No, I told it was the whole
square.
Jesus, you are losing your mind.
I'm losing my mind. Well, it doesn't mean you never had it before.
I never fucking had square pizza in Detroit.
But there's a place that you
I don't
told
give
me
a
about
fuck.
that they use the pans from the fucking
Go to your
auto.
go to your hotel room and order a Little Caesars round pizza. Boom, Detroit.
Let me get you the name of that place, Ryan. I'm going to post it on the
I think
socials.
it's Buster's. I think it's what
Is
it's
it
called.
Buster's? I think actually I followed up with.
Or is it Hyman's?
I'll check Goldbelly because I looked to see if it was on
Should be, it's
Goldbelly.
either
If I could get it
Buster or
shipped to
Hyman.
me.
It might be Buster Hyman.
Well, Buster Hyman. Yeah, exactly. Jason Bratelli, who was the toughest opponent to ever get up into the jackknife power bomb, not counting the Giant at Sold Out 98. I've seen it done to Sid, Bam Bam, Wrath, etc. Is there one that sticks out?
It's kind of like saying, name a Derringer crash besides the Hindenburg.
How many dirigibles have gone down?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the Giant is sold out, and that was it. And I didn't want to do. I didn't want to pilot that Zeppelin that evening.
All right. How about the house? How about our friends here from the 11 Soft Club? EP. WWE Vault has been on a roll this week, pumping out rare matches and gems from the new generation era. What's the best match you've seen from that era as a spectator? I think you're in one of the thumbnails that popped up this week. I can't remember them. Oh, you and Brett, I think.
I'm so sorry. I mean, name your favorite Thanksgiving.
What about not your match?
Yeah, but every night,
Yeah.
you have to realize we didn't have fucking phones. All you did was stand at the curtain.
You saw it or you didn't.
And watched every match.
Yeah.
No, you watched every match.
Yeah, really?
Every fucking match.
Wow.
You got in, you got your gear. The guys that played cards, but we weren't card guys. We were making sure guys weren't using our finishes for high spots.
Right.
But we watched everything because you want to see what's getting a response, what's not getting a response, how hard the crowd is. So yeah, like
Gotcha.
if three guys have done a test of strength, the last thing you're going to do is to put time in is go out and do a test of strength.
Good point.
But as far as I'm just trying to think of just one that would. But I mean, everybody worked hard every night.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's the answer. Next. Who else is here? Who else is here with the love? Kevin Gilball. Any favorite Michael Madsen roles you enjoyed? Michael Madsen passed away today. That's why, yeah.
Michael Madsen and I were actually up for the. I was going to do a movie. I turned it down because there wasn't enough cash. Then he was going to do it. And then the funding fell through. That was 2 years ago. I did a couple of Comic-Cons. I did one in that was Blackpool, I think. Someplace in England. Me and Madsen, and we sat and pounded beers with the big dude that's the father on Braveheart that gets killed.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah, the three of us, man, we drank that bar dry.
All right.
But Madsen was a good dude.
It's a good dude. I always like to hear that. Good actor, too. I always
favorite
enjoyed.
roles. I mean, I loved him in Reservoir Dogs.
Yep, that's what I was going to say.
But I think his
Rated.
Yeah, rated is Thelma and Louise.
Oh, right.
He kind of, him and that kind of. If you just would have had a Brad Pitt, it wouldn't have worked as well.
Right.
I thought that was good character acting. He was a great character actor. Remind me of Robert Mitchum, who reminded me of my dad. So Madsen kind of looks like my dad.
Cool. Next. Edgar Watson, thoughts on comedian actor Foster Brooks. He played the best drunk on Man of the Hour, Dean Martin's Celebrity Roast.
Yeah, that's old school. That's Johnny Carson stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
I'd hear that Dean's glass was actually like apple juice or something, and that whole thing was a work. I don't know. It's possible to get confirmation now, but if it was, that's great.
It was. He worked it.
He worked it. Thank you, Dom. See?
Yep.
Well done.
What, Dom, you sleep with him? Where's he getting this?
He used to fill the apple juice.
I'm obsessed with D. Martin. I grew up, my dad was obsessed, so I know everything about D. Martin. I have his name.
How many ounces of baby oil would it take?
Oh, shit. I don't can't go there. I can't go there.
To lube up Dean's back.
Oh, no.
Those Vegas freakouts were fucking cray.
That's just a lifestyle thing. I'm not judging you.
When they used to have Sammy take the eye out and put it in.
Oh.
Talk about the brown eye. Anyone else in the house? Steve Ivan Garcia. Hi, Ivan. Any cool 4th of July stories you can share from the 90s?
Same ones I have going forward. Who the fuck came up with shooting fireworks to drive people with dogs crazy?
Crazy. I don't
And
understand.
they start at fucking 8 a.m. and shoot them till fucking the 7th.
Yeah, I heard some before. They're going
Oh,
now.
it's fuck. I've never. And then DeSantis passed that it's okay. We're talking. You can get fireworks in Florida that you could put on a barge and shoot in front of a city. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
The high-powered, the full...
I just saw a place blow up the other day somewhere.
Oh, that warehouse. Did you see
Yeah.
that? Oh, that was brutal.
And then I was going through Instagram and I saw that Jerry Lawler has 2 places in like the Memphis area that sells fireworks. And he was peddling his fireworks on Instagram.
I never got it. I mean, maybe when I was a kid, the thrill... Well, it was illegal in Jersey. You can get some now in Jersey, but they were all illegal for a long time. So when I was a kid, I was like 12.
Do you remember they had this ad that they would... I remember it was in our library. It was by the drinking fountain. And it showed this mangled hand that a cherry bomb had went off in. And it was a basically public service of not to fuck with
deterrent,
fire.
yeah.
And I played basketball, and it was like no way was I gonna mangle my hand.
And for what? Who's the New York Giant? Well, fucking blew his fingers. I'm like, what are you're making how many millions of dollars a year? You're fucking with fireworks? Your body? JPP, was it?
I don't know.
Jason Pierre-Paul? Steve, look it up for me. It was a New York Giant that blew his hand to
It's one of those
smithereens.
Paul brothers.
Yeah, he's Logan, Jake, or George.
Yeah, one of them.
Paul. Yeah, Dom says, yeah, it was Pierre-Paul. Jesus Christ, what the f is with people? Never understood this. We would go, like, when I was like 12, we'd jump in an older kid's car, and they'd drive us over to Chinatown. And we would get out, and we'd walk until we saw somebody that we thought maybe was selling. And, like, we'd jump into a van, in the back of a van, and they just have them all laid out, and we'd load up and go back to Jersey and sell them or set them off. I was practically raised by wolves now that I talk about this. With cell phones today, you always know where your kids are. You can track them, but my mother had no idea I was in the back of a van on Canal Street in New York. And it was not the summer
How
of
many
92.
pillows were you propped up on?
I was going to say, exactly. The baby oil references. All right, round this out. Who can bring us home? Bring it home.
What was the guy, the guy that said we were off and went into Adam Rodriguez and all that?
Yeah, that was a gentleman earlier. I think.
Boy, he's gonna have a fucking heyday with this show.
Let's see. Rick. It was Rick.
Yeah.
Ace Ramon, what do you think of Meltzer's claim that Punk's apology was scripted and the Saudi fan was a plant? He's been trying hard to ruin Punk ever since he came back and won't let the AEW stuff go.
Who cares?
A fine response. Fine response. But you may care that Kliq This is a production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast Heat, created by Tristan Nash, Kevin Nash, and Sean Oliver, producer Steve Kaufman, graphics by Dominic D'Angelo, title sequence and audio edit by Wesley Burleson, theme song by Dale Oliver, technical research by Tristan Nash, copyright 2025, Butch and Sundance Media. Hey, Ambrose, you want to do another one?
If I don't fucking open fire with my AR-15 on somebody firing off fireworks
tonight.
Let us free to breathe in air we're supposed to breathe. The twists and turns you've come to love me. Now I'm cold, I'm frozen. Baby, we're broken, and the customer service never answers a thing. Yeah, the customer service never answers a thing.